disabled students, blind students, hearing impaired students, normal students, let us, normal students depend upon verbal way of communication. They will be benefited by verbal way of communication. Normal students in general classroom, generally they will be benefited. If you use verbal language to transact curriculum, to transact instruction, they will be benefited. They can understand verbal language. But so far as hearing impaired students are concerned, some hearing, let us say some hearing impaired students or deaf students are studying in the class. They cannot be benefited by verbal language, verbal way of teaching. They want lip reading, sign language, deaf and dumb students, gesture, posture, body language, non-verbal communications. You see, non-verbal communication, non-verbal way of communication, sign language, lip reading, then graphic mode of communication. Blind students cannot be benefited. Oral approach, they will be benefited by oral approach, blind students. But visual mode of communication, if we use audio visual aids in the classroom. Visual modes of communication, if we use, blind students will not be benefited. That's why we find diversity so far as communication is concerned. Then family background, we find diversity of the students studying in a multicultural classroom so far as family background is concerned. Some are from agricultural family, some are from business family. Family background is different. Students, we find students with different that is family background, that is, as I have already said, family parents are agriculturists, whose parents are business persons, likewise industrialist, then whose father is very poor, rickshaw pullers, family background, slum area, urban area, rural area. You see, we find students of different, coming from different cultural backgrounds. Metropolis, coming from metropolis students, we find coming from metropolis, urban background, rural background. Okay, that's why at present almost all classroom is a multicultural, and we find students with different interest and hobbies. Hobbies are different, interest is different interest. Then family support, we find students whose family support them academically. We also find students whose parents don't support them academically, or neutral so far as education is concerned. They don't give importance to education of the children. Family support, they are very poor. They fail to understand the importance of education. That's why families we find different. Then age and maturity. Age of the students, we find students with different age groups in the classroom. Social skill, we find different of students with different social skills, values. That's why learning preference. So Why I am discussing? Previously, we are giving importance to children with uh, three categories of children or students in a classroom, as I have already mentioned: normal students or average standard students, and brilliant students, and slow learners. Only before us, three types of students were there, and teachers were preparing themselves to satisfy only normal average standard students because their number is more in a class, and we are least concerned to satisfy gifted students. We are also least concerned to satisfy slow learners. And it is it is generally held that with the teacher, whatever step we may take, one third students will definitely fail in the examination. Unless and until one third student will not fail in the examination, then I am not a successful teacher. One third students will not fail in the examination. And 75% students will pass. And out of 75% students, 100% students, 25% will secure first class in the examination. This is the belief. This was the belief everywhere among the parents, among the members of the society, among the teachers, whatever way of or mode of teaching I may adopt in the classroom, one third student will must fail. Unless and until one third student will not fail, I cannot claim myself as a successful teacher. That was the belief in the past. But nowadays, we give guarantee that more than 85% student will secure more than 85% of number in each and every examination, in each and every activities. Okay, because we give importance to mastery learning nowadays. Nobody is a disabled student, and nobody lacks ability. Everybody has ability, but possess different types of abilities. Some are mathematically strong, some are physically strong, bodily and kinesthetic ability, they are very strong. Graphic, musical abilities. So we must be aware of, as a teacher, we must be aware of all those things. And remember, as I have already discussed with you yesterday, our classroom is not a teacher-centric classroom, teacher-guided. We should not follow teacher-guided instruction. Teacher is not play the role of heroes in the classroom. Teacher's role has been also changed. We should facilitate learning. We should motivate, inspire the students to progress. Let the students play the role of hero in the classroom. Teacher's role is behind the scene, but we the teachers at present are dominating, playing the dominant role. We dominate in the classroom. Yesterday I will say, we think that we are Brahma. Teachers feel that we are Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. Teacher, students knows nothing. I know everything. That type of mentality should not be there in a multicultural classroom, remember. Teacher must learn from students. Student must be motivated by the teachers, inspired by the teachers. We must facilitate learning. But at present, we are playing the role of a sage in the stage, just like Ramdev Baba. Sage. Whatever I am speaking, that is the statement of Gita, Bible, you should follow it. No, our role is not a sage in the stage, not Brahma role. We should not play the role of a Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. Let student play the role of a Brahma. Let student create new knowledge. The definition of learning has been changed at present. Previously, the definition was learning's definition was a relatively change in behavior of the students or organism which occurs due to practice. Now, learning means knowledge construction. Learning means construction of knowledge either individually or collaboratively when students are actively engaged with social experiences or natural experiences. Let students engage actively with social experiences or natural experiences. That is our role. We have to create opportunity in the classroom in such a way that student will be engaged actively with natural and social experiences. And however, we must facilitate it, create opportunity, create situation, natural situation, maybe social experience, situation based upon social experiences. We have to create and engage students actively. Actively here means not physical activity, remember, mental activity. Actively engaged means not with physical activities, but with mental activities. Students should be engaged with mental activities. Students' mental activity is given more importance than physical activity. Remember, activity means mental activity. Mentally, students should be actively engaged again with social experiences, which we have to create. When students will be actively engaged with social experiences, then they can able to construct new knowledge. That is what learning is in 21st century. Our role is to create, again I am reiterating, repeatedly I am speaking, what is our role as a teacher? We should create social experiences, and our role is engage the students with that social experiences actively, means underlying mental activity, and last product is creation of new knowledge. Student will create knowledge, new knowledge. We should not provide any information or knowledge to the students, bookish knowledge. Whatever written in the text, we should not provide those things to the students. Let students create new create new knowledge, give new interpretation to the textual content, innovate something new, some new ideas, let them innovate, new answers, let them innovate, new knowledge, let them innovate. That is what the meaning of learning at present is. Learning does not mean remembering something, some information by practice or drilling or by rote memory or rote. It is not something rote learning, or it is learning does not mean memorization of facts. Learning does not mean repetition, learning by repetition, learning by rote, learning by exercise, learning by practice. Learning does not mean remembering something by practice, drilling, repetition, or by rote. That is outdated. That was the definition of learning in the 20th century. But in the 21st century, there has been a paradigm shift so far as the concept of learning is concerned. Rote learning is outdated. Construction of new ideas, construction of new knowledge means learning. That's why our role is to facilitate learning of the students, how to create new knowledge. Let us facilitate. That is our role. We have to facilitate learning. Facilitate learning means, as I have already discussed, create new or create situation, that is social experiences, provide social experiences, arrange social experiences, and let the students actively engaged with those social experiences, and let them create, let them discuss, let them debate, let them argue with the ideas, let them criticize the ideas, analyze the ideas, synthesize the ideas, evaluate the ideas, then construct new ideas. That is what learning at present is. Then we have to discuss some good points or goodness of multicultural or good aspects of multicultural classroom. Multicultural classroom has its significant aspect. Good aspects. First good aspect is it stimulates, multicultural classroom stimulates growth and competition. When students coming from different cultural backgrounds share their ideas in the classroom, mix with other students with different cultural backgrounds, then it creates competition among themselves. And that competition helps to grow. And that competition helps to improve performance. And that competition helps when students with different cultural background work together. It helps competition, and that competition motivates the students, inspires the students to grow and develop, progress, how to achieve better. It helps students. That's why multicultural classroom has its positive aspect also. Multicultural classroom is a boon. And yesterday I have already discussed with you, 3 factors are important for one's success and progress. Hereditary factor, environmental factor, and next factor is achieve motivation factor, that is will to achieve motivation. Motivation is very, very important. You may have ability, does not matter. You have from high cultural background, does not matter. But if your willpower is very weak, willpower, motivation power, power to willpower is very weak, you cannot be successful in your life. Nobody. A rickshaw puller son is becoming an IAS officer. Hereditary. Rickshaw puller son is very poor, hereditary background, hereditary point of view or genetic point of view. He is very poor. Environmental point of view, environment is not strong. Environmental aspect is not strong in case of a rickshaw puller. How he becoming a doctor? How he is becoming an engineer, IAS officer? What is the reason? Reason is willpower. I have to achieve motivation. That's why multicultural classroom helps students or motivates the students to grow continuously, progressively, to grow progressively. That's why it has its positive aspect. Next, it is helpful, multicultural classroom is helpful to develop better relationship. Social relationship nowadays is very important. Relationship. How to develop good relationship? I am from rich family, you are from poor family. When rich students mix with the poor students, then create friendship, then in future life, that the skill of learning how to develop relationship will be helpful in future life or in future society. That's why it is helpful to create better relationship that multicultural classroom. Then next one is it is helpful to take decision collectively. Decision making ability, development of decision making ability comes under critical thinking. Yesterday I cited, I have hinted, critical thinking includes decision making ability. Sometimes at present we fail to take right decision. Decision making very important. How to take decision? We have to develop that ability. And at present, the strategy is to take decision collectively. And the decision taken collectively proves fruitful nowadays. Sometimes we take decision individually, which proves, which becomes hazardous, individual decision. But in multicultural classroom, students, multicultural classroom, that multicultural classroom helps students to take decision collectively. They know the skill of how to take decision collectively. Decision making ability helps to develop decision making ability. Individually we take decision. Just one example I am telling before you. Purushottama Ramachandra. Then take decision to leave Sita, pregnant wife Sita, during the then period. Individually took decision. Some say how Ramachandra, who is called Purushottama, took this type of decision individually. Whether it is right or wrong, it is debatable. I am not coming to that part. But multicultural classroom helps to take decision collectively. It has its good points. And next one is multicultural classroom, as I had discussed yesterday. Currently, we give stress on cooperative learning method in the classroom. Cooperative learning method. Not teacher-guided learning, nor self-learning. Cooperative learning method is given importance across the world at present. In cooperative learning situation, that multicultural classroom helps a lot to create new ideas. Students with different abilities, students with different disabilities, students with different cultural backgrounds, when they sit together, they discuss together, when they discuss with an idea, then there will be multiple opinions come forward. Multiple opinions come forward. And when they discuss, they debate with multiple ideas, multiple answers, then something new ideas will emerge. That is what learning is. That's why it is helpful for cooperative learning situation. Multicultural classroom is helpful to augment cooperative learning situation and ensures that multicultural classroom ensures success of cooperative learning method in a classroom. We must be cautious about this, take care of this. And in brainstorming situation, as you know, this is the technique used to develop creativity, brainstorming approach. Osborne, that approach was, or technique was developed by Osborne in brainstorming session. That multicultural classroom or students with different cultural backgrounds, students with different abilities, disabilities, with different geographical, economical, and political background, religion background, when they give their views, give their answers, then it becomes fruitful. Brainstorming situation becomes fruitful to create novel ideas, new ideas. It helps to develop creativity on the part of the students. That's why multicultural classroom. For example, one example just I am citing before you. If you ask question, how goods are transported in your society, in your locality. This is the question you let us put in the classroom to the students. How goods are transported in your society or in your locality. Students coming from hilly area, they will give one answer. Students coming from desert area, they will give another answer. Goods are transported in hilly in a desert area by the help of camels or horses. In plain area, goods are transported from one place to another place by tractor, truck. In forest area, student will say goods are transported from one place to another place by bullock cart. Likewise, different answers will emerge. Multiple answers will emerge when you put this question to the students in a multicultural classroom. When so many answers will emerge, then students of plain area will learn how goods are transported in desert area from one place to another place, how goods are transported in hilly area, because they had no idea. They come across multiple ideas, multiple answers, multiple experiences, you see, which helps to create new ideas, new knowledge. Remember, we must be careful about it. Then, critical analysis of a particular idea, particular statement would be made successfully in a multicultural classroom. Critical analysis of ideas. Okay. Then it stimulates, as I have already said, motivation helps achievement. It stimulates multicultural classroom, stimulates active thinking, higher order thinking. It also stimulates academic performance, achievement, everything. The most important aspect of a multicultural classroom is cultural diffusion. When students of one culture mix with the students of other culture, then takes place cultural diffusion. They learn new things. A student of a particular culture, when mixed with other students of different cultures, then he or she learns the cultural habits of other culture. May it be cultural practices, food habits, skills, cultural skills, different social or cultural skills, they learn food habits. Muslim student, Hindu student, mix with the Muslim students. Then food habit, biryani, they learn how to prepare biryani. Then dosa, samosa, you see, dosa, samosa, how to prepare dosa, how to prepare samosa, uttapam, food habits. Cultural, when two culture mixed together, come into contact with each other, then takes place cultural diffusion. Some good habits of other culture would be learned by the students in a multicultural classroom. Good practices, good habits, good ideas. That is why multicultural classroom is helpful for cultural diffusion. It helps for social change. Cultural diffusion is a factor for which social change takes place. Remember. Then, besides its positive aspect, cultural classroom has its negative aspect. Remember, there are some issues we find, our teacher mostly find in a multicultural classroom. Teachers find problems, some negative consequences of multicultural classrooms. First one is issue of communication. students coming with different linguistic backgrounds and studying in multicultural classroom. They are studying in multicultural classroom. How to communicate with them? How a teacher will communicate with them? Which language he or she should use for successful communication? Multicultural classroom, in multicultural classroom, communication problem. Which language should be used to transact curriculum in the classroom? They may not understand your language. And a student studying in classroom, multicultural classroom, how they face difficulties to communicate their ideas with their friends, other friends with a different language background. Communication problem. That is very important issue we should take care of. That's why to solve that problem, teacher must be multilingual by nature. Teacher must learn, must be thorough with different languages, multi language teacher trained with multi languages, teachers training with multi languages, the communication abilities to communicate with students is necessary. Multi-language teacher training program must be conducted. That's why teacher it can help teacher to communicate properly with the students in a multicultural classroom. That is the biggest problem, communication problem, that a teacher faces in a multicultural classroom. We must take care of it. Then adjustment problem. Students coming from a particular cultural background fail to adjust with students of different cultural backgrounds. Adjustment problem. In the hostel, in the classroom, students face adjustment problem. How to adjust with the Hindu students fail to adjust with the Muslim students in the hostel. Food habit is something different. South Indian students' food habit is different from North Indian students. How to adjust with food in the hostel? Adjustment problem. When I was doing my PhD in Kurukshetra University. I am from Orissa. Kurukshetra University in hostel. I am a coastal area student. I was taking mutton, chicken, then fish. Fish is plentifully available in my area. Coastal area student. But in that hostel, only vegetarian food was available. Kurukshetra University hostel. Rajma for the first time, Rajma I took. You see, roti, chapati, but I was habituated with rice in my society, in my area. Rice is plentifully available. We don't take roti, chapati, but there in Haryana hostel, adjustment problem was there. How to communicate with them? They all were communicating. They all were using Hindi, but I was not thorough in Hindi. I was thorough in English. When I speak with them in English, they don't understand. My friends, they don't understand English. They understand, but they are not thorough in understanding English. I am not thorough in understanding Hindi. Then you see, adjustment problem. Then the issue of groupism, very dangerous issue, remember. As you know, birds of the same feather flock together. Even, I will cite one example, what happened, practical example in my life. Birds of the same feather flock together. Sikh students will form a group. Muslim students studying in the school will form a group. Christian students, they will form a group because birds of the same feather flock together. Then South Indian students, they form a group. Bengali students will form a group. Oriya students will form a group. In Kurukshetra University, even you see, Oriya students, many Oriya students were studying during the period in Kurukshetra University. Also in our Orissa, then there is also groupism. Kotaki students, Sambalpuri students. Kotaki students were studying. Sambalpuri students were studying. Sambalpuri students, they had formed a group. Kotaki students had formed a group. And what happened? One day, they fought each other in the campus. In Kurukshetra University campus, Kotaki students and Sambalpuri students, silly, for a love matter, they fought together. You see, that is a dangerous aspect of a multicultural classroom. Dangerous aspect. Take care of it. Groupism, very important issue of groupism. Then acceptance, issue of acceptance. Poor students may not accept rich students. Rich students, scheduled caste students, or general caste students, Brahmin students, general caste students may not accept scheduled caste students, scheduled tribe students. Muslim students may not accept Hindu students. Christian students may not accept Sikh students. You see, issue of acceptance. Suppose I am a Hindu teacher. Muslim students are studying sometimes. I may not accept. I fail to accept Muslim students. I only love Hindu students in the classroom. Okay. Issue of acceptance. Very dangerous issue in multicultural classroom. Acceptance issue. I am a Muslim teacher. I fail to accept Hindu students. I only like Muslim students in the classroom. You see, acceptance issue. You must be very careful about this problem as a teacher in a multicultural classroom. Then building trust. Issue of building trust. Whom I should trust? Whom I should trust? Should I trust Muslim students? Should I trust Sikh students? Should I trust South Indian students? Should I trust North Indian students? Should a Bengali student trust South Indian students? Should a Dravidian student, we say Dravidian, South Indian student, Dravidian students trust Aryan students, North Indian students, you see. Very dangerous issue. Trust. How to trust. And it creates problems for academic progress of the students in a multicultural classroom. It hampers study. Disturbances takes place always. Mentally, no student will remain healthy adjustment problem, fighting among themselves, arguments, counter arguments, using of abusive languages to students with different cultural backgrounds. You see, abusive languages, fighting each other, very dangerous issue or a dangerous aspect of multicultural classroom. And most important problem, yesterday one participant asked, suitable pedagogy. Which pedagogy or art of teaching or method of teaching or skill of teaching or strategy of teaching should we use in the classroom so that students coming from different cultural backgrounds and different locations will be benefited, or students with the diversity will be benefited. Disabled students will be benefited in the same classroom. Normal students will be benefited. Urban students will be benefited. Rural students will be benefited. Students with different religions will be benefited. Students with different language backgrounds will be benefited. So, it is very difficult. Use of suitable pedagogy, that is very, that is a difficult question, difficult aspect. Selection and use of suitable pedagogy so that everybody will be benefited. Every student will be benefited by that pedagogy. That aspect I will discuss with you on Tuesday in detail. Suitable pedagogy, that aspect I will discuss with you on Monday, Tuesday, last class, that aspect. Leave that aspect. Then come to the next point, that is, as a teacher, what should be our role in a multicultural classroom for the progress, academic progress of the students? What should be our role? What should be our activities? What should be the instructional responses in the multicultural classroom? As I have already told you, that mentality, our mentality should be changed, mind should be changed. I know everything, students know anything. That mentality should be changed. Rigid mentality, we must be liberal. We should play the role of a facilitator, liberal, not a rigid mentality. The entry year of the student in multicultural classroom, the entry year is very important. Entry year of the first year of the student is very important. So, during first year or during the entry year, as a teacher, you have to give special attention to the students. Special attention should be given to each and every student during the entry year. Remember, that is very important. Then next one is know your student individually. Teacher, you have to know your student individually. ଚାଟି କଲୁ। Individually does not mean, knowing student individually does not mean know your student by name. Gopala, Damo, Ramo, Samo, know your student by name. It does not mean know your student by name. Know your student individually means know about your student in detail, from which cultural background that student has come. What is the family background? What is the economic condition of the student? What is the geographical condition of the student? What about the profession of their parents? His or her parents' profession. How many children are there in his family? What is his number? Means know your student individually means know in detail about each and every student. Then many problems would be solved in a multicultural classroom. Just mere knowing a student by their name cannot solve problem. Know your student means know his or her background, family background, cultural background, their economic condition, their family condition, then about the members of his or her family. So knowing student individually can help a teacher to solve many problems in multicultural classroom. That is why it is very important to know student in. And next one is, as we say, student, a teacher is a friend, philosopher and guide. Behave students like a friend, be a friend, student friendly. Students should be given importance. Students should be liked, respected. Treat your student, yesterday I told, treat your student as master, not as a servant. That's why behave your student like a friend. Guide him, facilitate him, inspire him, motivate him, and also you also learn and update your knowledge continuously and play the role of a philosopher. Philosopher. Who is a philosopher? Philosopher is he who has taste for every sort of knowledge, curious to learn but never satisfied. That means you must engage, as a teacher, you must engage with recent knowledge. Must have touch with the recent development of knowledge. Learn, continuously you have to learn. But don't be satisfied, remember, don't be satisfied with what you learn. Then only you can claim yourself as a philosopher. This is the definition given by Plato, not by me. This is not my definition. Plato, in his famous book, The Republic, has given this definition of a philosopher. A philosopher is he who has taste for every sort of knowledge, curious to learn but never satisfied. So you should play the role of a friend, you should play the role of a guide, and you should play the role of a philosopher. Then only you can be a successful teacher in a multicultural classroom. Otherwise, you will be outdated. Nobody no student will respect you. Just lost, outdated. That's why It should be. And in this context, one point I highlight, that is informal interaction with student. Informal interaction, not formal interaction. Informal interaction. Many a teachers fail to interact with students informally. Always they interact with students formally, formality, informal, informal. Again, I am repeating, informal interaction with students. Informal, not formal interaction. That is different between formal interaction and informal interaction. And give stress on informal interaction with students, so that in a multicultural classroom, many problems would be solved. Don't keep distance. Hello? Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. There was a network problem, that's why. Yes, informal interaction with students is very, very necessary to solve many problems in a multicultural classroom. Then, next one is respect each other. As a teacher, you must respect each other's culture. I am a Hindu teacher, I must respect uh, students coming from it is Islamic religion. Muslim students I must like, I must love, I must respect their cultural practices. I should not say your cultural practices is very bad. My cultural practice is very good. Yours is not good. Don't don't behave like this as a teacher. You have to respect. Yes, Ramjan. During Ramjan, you are going for fast. You are going for fast for 1 month. I respect your cultural practices. You see, respect. If I hate, what will happen? It will create problem for all. I must, as a teacher, you must respect others' culture and be sensitive to varied culture. There are some sensitive issues found in all other culture. You are tribal students, you are scheduled caste students, you take these foods. Don't, don't pass this type of comments to the students coming from different cultural background. Be sensitive. If you use this type of language, this type of words, it will create dangerous situation and it will produce dangerous consequences. Be care of it. Be sensitive to varied cultures. And very important thing is foster cultural awareness. Foster cultural awareness. conduct cultural awareness programs. So each and everybody will participate in that program. They will learn, they will get opportunity to learn uh, the way of life of other culture, customs of other culture, habits of other culture, food habits, language, way of life, common cultural practices. Each and every student will get opportunity. Another very important thing is we have to organize the co-curricular activities keeping trace on different cultural celebrations of different culture. Remember, co-curricular, co-curricular uh, activities, food exhibition. Let us say food exhibition. In your school, suppose you conducted food exhibition, where all students will participate, then they prepare the food of their own culture. South Indian students, they will prepare dosa, idli. North Indian students, they can get opportunity to prepare samosa. Then our Odishan student, they will get opportunity to prepare. Bengali student, they will get opportunity to prepare rasgulla. You see, foods of different culture. So each and every student will participate in that program, and they should learn the uh, goodness or good aspect or good food habit of other culture. Muslim student will prepare biryani, dosa, likewise, food habits. Then cultural programs, dance programs, music programs, song programs, song competitions, dance competitions, music competitions. But what happens? Generally, what happens in the schools? Cultural programs, cultural celebrations are conducted. But what happens? Annual functions are conducted. But what happens? Nowadays, what is happening? I have visited, I have participated in so many annual functions, but what I see, only the cultural dances or dances of our culture, of a particular culture is played. Dance, Odissi dance is played. In Sambalpur area, Sambalpuri dance is. In Assam area, Bihu dance is played. Then Bharatanatyam is played in South India. You see, in Haryana, then their folk dance is played. But what should be done? Dance of different cultures. Students should participate and they must perform the dance of their own cultures. Odissi dance should be there, Sambalpuri dance should be there, Bharatanatyam should be there, Bihu should be there, Assamese dance should be there, Kathakali should be there. Then every student will enjoy and every student will get opportunity to appreciate the cultural practices of different cultures. As a teacher, you have to create this type of opportunity in your school. Then social relationship would be strengthened. Then unity in diversity would be built. We trace on unity in diversity. Our India is a country of diversity. But how to build unity in diversity should be our motto, should be the motto of the school in the multicultural classroom. Unity in diversity, how to ensure unity in diversity should be the motto. Then, as I have already discussed with you, we have to organize different competitions, literary competitions, debate competitions. The linguistically strong student will participate. Sports, we are also organizing, at present we are organizing sports competitions where students with bodily and kinetic ability can participate. Not painting, 8 types of students are there with different abilities. For blind students, we have to conduct different programs, different activities, co-curricular activities for deaf students, taking into the consideration of students studying in a multicultural classroom or coming from different cultural background. School must organize variety activities, variety cultural programs, variety celebrations. Saraswati Puja, Ganesh Puja, we are celebrating in our school. But what about Christian students are studying? Are we celebrating New Year's, Xmas? Just holiday. Organizing that puja in our school, celebrating Ganesh that food, Muslim festival celebration of Punjabi festivals, we do not celebrate. You see, that's why in a multicultural schools where students coming from or studying with a different cultural background, we must take care of it. Celebrate different festivals, different cultural programs. Then only we can ensure unity in diversity. Otherwise, uh, if multicultural classroom, the students of multicultural classroom will not be handled properly or dealt properly, then hazardous consequences will take place. Then, then collaborative learning. Again, I have already discussed with you. Collaborative learning method should be used in the classroom to transact curriculum. Collaborative learning situation. In that situation, student, teacher will divide the classroom consisting of 5 to 6 students with different cultural background. It must be heterogeneous in nature. Blind students should be there, tribal students should be there, general students should be there. 5 to 6 students, consisting of 5 to 6 students. Divide the classroom into 5 to 6 groups consisting of 5 to 6 students, and which must be heterogeneous in nature. When they work together, students in a group work together, discuss themselves, then they share their experiences, their cultural experiences to solve the problem, to discuss with them by providing their cultural experiences or their ideas, then new ideas will emerge. Then cooperative learning should be emphasized to deal with students in a multicultural classroom. That is very important. Cooperative learning method, remember. where students with a different cultural background sit together, think about new ideas, discuss themselves, think critically, analyze ideas critically, and interpret the ideas with different cultural, socio-cultural background or experiences, then only knowledge will be successful or learning will be successful. Then only new ideas can emerge. That should be given importance in the multicultural classroom, cooperative learning method. Then use of experiential learning, method of experiential learning method. Experiential learning method, as I have already hinted, how goods are transported from one place to another place in your localities. Students with different geographical localities will give their ideas, cultural ideas from their own society, experiences of their own society, and discussion will be made. Then transportation system, how goods are transported by seaways, airways, railways, trucks, bus, trams will be discussed. Higher, higher ideas will be discussed, but the best should be social experiences. Where knowledge exists, where knowledge exists, new knowledge exists, new knowledge exists with social experiences. Social experience is the very, very educative. Remember, every societal experience is educative. New knowledge exists with social experiences, background experiences. Background social experiences should be recalled to teach something new thing. Assimilation of ideas. We say assimilation of new ideas with old ideas makes learning meaningful. New ideas, when assimilated with the old ideas, then meaningful learning takes place. Our learning will be meaningful when old ideas are assimilated with new ideas are assimilated with old ideas. So old ideas, whenever we talk on old ideas, it implies cultural experiences of the students. Cultural experiences of students. That's why cultural experience of the students in a multicultural classroom, not a single cultural experiences, multiple cultural experiences should be used to assimilate or assimilation of new ideas with the existing social experiences of the students. Their learning will be helpful, learning will be meaningful. This is not my idea, this is the idea of Piaget, Jean Piaget, psychologist of Switzerland, Jean Piaget, assimilation. When new ideas are assimilated with the old ideas, then new knowledge will take place, new idea will take place. So take care of this. And what is the old ideas? Cultural experience of the students should act as old ideas upon which new ideas should be built, upon which new ideas should be assimilated. That should be the important task before a teacher at present. Associate or assimilate old ideas with the new ideas with the old ideas. That is called assimilation. Otherwise, learning cannot be the learning cannot be meaningful. You see, just one example I am giving to you. Nowadays, English has been a difficult subject for each and every student. In my time, English was a very difficult subject. When I was studying in a government school, it was very difficult to secure even pass mark in English. English was difficult for all of us. Do you know one question I am asking to you? A student who is taking admission in the class 1, do you know how many English words, with how many English words, or how many English words he or she knows from his own society before going to take admission in class 1? Have you ever thought about it? A student, from their social experiences, from their cultural, with their cultural background, from their society, with how many English words he has come to take admission in a class? More than 1,000 English words he or she knows from his own society. Truck, tractor, cup, plate, fan, TV, mobile. If you go on listing out, ask a student who has come to take admission in class 1, you can ask him different words in English. He can promptly say fan, TV, truck, tractor, motorcycle, cycle, not. You see, so many, more than 1,000 English words he or she knows before going to take admission in class 1. But why she or he fails in English? It is a question for all of you to realize. Student, without coming to school, knows 1,000 English words, but it is a matter of great regret that he or she fails in English. Where is the fault? Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for that? From his own society, from his own culture, he or she has learned more than 1,000 English words. But English becomes difficult for him or for her to understand in the classroom. Where is the fault? As a teacher, this must be realized. Does fault lies with the student, or does fault lies with the parents? Does fault lies with the society, or does fault lies with the teacher? Who is responsible for the failure of the student in English? My mother tongue is not English, but a small student at the age of 3 knows more than 1,000 English words from his or her society. Where is the fault? Why he fails in English? Why English becomes a difficult subject for him? Where is the fault? Please realize that. So, experiential learning should be given importance. We only teach them B for bat. He knows bat. A for apple. He or she knows apple. A for apple, B for bat, B for apple. B for not only for bat. A for ant. A for apple. B for boss. Why bat? So many examples you give. B for, he knows. B for what? He knows boss, bat. What more you are going to teach him? Bookish knowledge, only one, B for bat. He knows boss, B for boss. Let the student tell B for what? Then student will say B for boss, B for bat. Only but you are speaking only B for bat. That's why what you are doing, you are just destroying their creative abilities, critical thinking abilities, destroying the creativity of the students in your school or in the classroom by telling B for bad, B for bad only, giving only one example. Multiple examples you give. Are multiple examples the student know. So many words starting with the letter B. So many words starting with the letter A, starting with the letter C. Many words. F for fan. F, starting with the F. C for cycle. S for scooty. C for cop. C for cycle. Students know from their cultural experiences. That is their cultural experience, background knowledge. With that knowledge, they have come to the school to study English. But you are not using experiential learning method to educate them, to transact or discuss with them with new knowledge. Old theory, we are following. That's why we must give importance in the classroom as a teacher, that is experiential learning. Give less importance to textual learning. Give importance to experiential learning. Besides that, multiple methods, multiple techniques, multiple strategies we can use or we should use. Use of multiple teaching learning materials, multiple skills, multiple teaching learning methods, designs for the benefit of students in a multicultural classroom. I will discuss this aspect in detail on Tuesday. Then, then multiple use of multiple theory of intelligence, as I have already discussed with you. There are 8 type of students with different abilities, as I have as pointed out by Gardner theory in his theory of multiple theory of intelligence. Linguistic, linguistic ability is very important. Mathematical abilities, there are some students whose mathematical ability is very strong. Science ability is very strong. Graphic, painting, drawing, graphical activity is very strong. Musical ability, very strong. 8 categories of students are there. We must take care of, we must know it, and we must give importance to different technique, different activities, create different ability, create different opportunities for the development of those talents among the students. Then varieties of programs, varieties of activities, cultural, co-curricular, inside the classroom, outside the classroom, we have to organize to foster creativity, their hidden potentialities. Then only you can ensure fullest development of potentialities of the students in a school, particularly in a multicultural classroom. Let us discuss now. The topic is open for discussion. Let us discuss. Ask question if you have any doubt with regard to multicultural classroom with diversity. Any doubt you can ask. Let us discuss. Topic is open for discussion. Any doubt? Ask question to clarify your doubt, please. It is time for discussion. No doubt. Hello.
No, sir.
Yes. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubt.
No, sir.
What should be your role as a teacher in the classroom in 21st century? What type of role you should play in the classroom? As a teacher, what type of a role you should play in the classroom? This is a question to all of you. Tell me, one by one. Then you can generate multiple answers. You can give one answer, another fellow can give one answer, then we have to discuss. Then lastly, new ideas will emerge. Final ideas will emerge. Tell one by one. One role. What type of a role you should play in a...
Excuse me, sir. May I say something, sir?
Tell me. One answer. Pardon?
Sir, I
What
like
will be your role?
to say something, sir. I like to say
Yes.
something.
Tell.
Sir,
Say.
actually, yeah, in a classroom, there are 40 students. So what I
Okay.
feel, sir, for 40 students, a single method cannot be useful. So
Yes.
what is
I
required
will
that
discuss. Yes, you are right. You are right. Multiple methods.
one single method is
Single method.
not appropriate.
Yes. I agree with you. But previously, we are using a single method by which ability of taking into the standard of average students, teacher was using a single method because it is assumed that the number of average students is more in a particular classroom, so that our role is to use only one method, so that average standard students will be benefited. We are ignoring slow learners, we are ignoring gifted students. Okay, that's why currently we have to use inclusive pedagogy. I will discuss in detail about inclusive pedagogy on Tuesday. Wait for that. Single method will not be benefited. Single technique will not be benefited. Single strategy will not be benefited for all students in a classroom. I do agree with you. Very good. Very good. Your idea is a very good idea you gave. Any idea? Anybody? Hello.
We should use experiential learning.
Experiential learning. Experiential learning. Just suppose you are going to teach transportation system. Transportation system. Okay. How goods are transported from one place to another place, airways, roadways. Okay. Then seaways. Transportation system is there in your syllabus. Our role is we have to use experiential learning system. Experiential learning. Experiential learning means what the student have experienced already in their society or in their locality. Ask question how goods are transported in your area from one place to another place. As I have already told, if a student coming from a desert area will say that in my area, sir, goods are transported from by camel or horse or by tanga from one place to another place by tanga or by camel. In forest area student, In forest area, student coming from a forest area will say that, sir or madam, in my area, goods are transported from one place to another place by the help of that is by bullock cart. Bullock cart. Okay, bullock cart. Goods are transported. In town area, student will say, sir or madam, in my area, goods are transported from one place to another place by truck or tractor. Okay, in plain area, in a rural area by tractor. See, multiple experiences will come, and by the help of that experience, you can go on teaching transportation system. Clear my point? That is experiential learning. What the student have experienced, first, first recall, first use their experiences in teaching learning process. Students' experience should be used or fully utilized in teaching learning process. And that background knowledge of the students or student experience should act as foundation upon which new ideas will be built. Clear? New ideas will be built or new information should be assimilated. Student experience should act as foundation so that you have to utilize. How can you utilize? Whenever you have no ideas about, you have not experienced. As a teacher, you have not experienced how goods are transported from one place to another place in hilly area, in desert area. But students coming from desert area, he or she can or they can speak fluently. You also learn from their experience, and their experience should be utilized fully in teaching learning process. That is called experiential learning. Okay, any doubt? This is what we say experiential learning. Experience of the students should be used. Where is knowledge? Knowledge is there with social experiences. Knowledge is there, exist in natural experiences. Where is botany? Botany is there in the forest, nature. Where is mensuration? Mensuration is there in the playground. Measure the playground, breadth, length. You have to measure mensuration. We are studying mensuration by giving problem which is given in the text. Have you ever thought mensuration is there in the playground? Go and measure the playground. What is the length of the playground? What is the breadth of the playground? What is the length of the classroom? What is the breadth of the classroom? Have you thought about it? This is what experience is. Practical experience. Experience can be practical experience, life experience. Experience we can use technology. Life-like experience. You can provide life-like experience to the students. That's why we are using video, audio, video clips, audio clips. That we have to create life-like experience. Okay. Zoo, visit zoo, study tour, visit, let them experience. After visiting zoo, after visiting market, take students to a marketplace, let them experience what is happening in a market, direct experience. Then after coming into the classroom, let them write an essay on market. Let them write an essay on zoo. Before that, each and every student might have experienced about zoo, about market, about airport. Okay, that is what experiential learning, direct experience, life-like experience we can use to make learning easy on the part of the students, to create new knowledge, direct experience, indirect experience, practical experience. Experience can be direct experience, life-like experience, or life experience. Clear? That is what experiential learning is concerned. Any question? Is there any question? Rosalind, any question?
No question, sir. No question, sir.
No question. Hmm. Sunita, any question? Hello. No question.
No,
Should
sir.
we stop?
Yes, sir.
Question. Should we stop? Should we stop? Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for
Yes, sir.
your patience hearing. On Monday, I will take your class. Monday and Tuesday, there are 2 classes left. On Tuesday, I will discuss about different pedagogies, different skills. It will be very much. It will be very much helpful for you to deal with the students in a classroom. Okay, let us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for
Thank you, sir.
your patience of hearing and participating.
Thank you, sir.
ହଁ ତୋର ସରିଗଲା ମୋର ଆସିଲା ତୋର ଚାର୍ଜ ନାହିଁ ପୁରା ଜିରୋ